So this video is essentially the supplemental version of the documents. In other words, everything in this video is add-ons that weren't in the first document. So from going through the documents, what I found is that the person who wrote the documents basically kept adding on to the document for each application. So the final one obviously had more details added, things that had occurred after her first application was made. So effectively, I probably should have started from the end, not from the beginning. So this one could be a little bit patchy in terms of it's not going to be as linear as the first read through, because basically I'm pulling out all the bits that we didn't hear in the first document. And once this video drops, I will then upload all the documents to my Patreon for anyone who wants copies of them. So basically, as I've said in the previous videos, my Patreon is free to join, and any documents that are in my Patreon are free to upload. There are tiers that you can join. There's a $1 tier and a $2 tier. And I think from looking at it, they've added in a $3.50 tier, which I didn't actually put there. So if you did want to support my channel financially, then you can join at one of those tiers. And it just costs you like $1 a month or $2 a month just to support my channel. On that note, I should probably mention I do have a Buy Me a Coffee, which is another way you can support my channel. There is a link for that in the description section below. So, having said all that, let's just jump straight in to looking at these bits and pieces that we missed because we were looking at the first document. I will also link the 2 videos I did previously, so that if you haven't watched them, you can find the links down in the description section for this video and go and watch them for yourself. So with that said, let's just jump in. Now this is an excerpt from one of the documents that was written by Corporal Robert Short, as opposed to the other documents that were written by this Charlene Curl. And it is an application for an order prohibiting access, a sealing order. And I wanted to just point this out to you because it says, pursuant to section 487.3 of the Criminal Code. I'm just going to put a pin in that momentarily, and then I'll bring up that particular section of the Criminal Code for you. So, yada yada, I, Corporal Robert Short, hereby make an oath and say as follows. I have reasonable grounds to believe that there is an active missing persons investigation in Pictou County regarding the disappearance of Jack Sullivan and Lily Sullivan, and that the items listed on the report to a justice signed May 26, 2025 were seized between May 2nd and May 7th, 2025. Hereafter referred to as the items, will afford evidence in respect to the investigation. I have reasonable grounds to believe that access to any documents pertaining to this investigation, such as the report to Justice submitted May 26, 2025, with regard to said items, should be prohibited. I believed that the disclosure of any information would compromise the nature and extent of an ongoing investigation. And then he's got the grounds for my beliefs are as follows, and he outlines the case. Now note, this is criminal code. This is not under the Missing Persons Act. This is criminal code. They are sealing these documents under criminal code. You do the math. So 487.3 is basically on application made at the time of an application is made for a warrant. A judge of the Court of Quebec, and this can be anywhere, this is actually Canada, this is Canada-wide, basically. may make an order prohibiting access to and the disclosure of any information relating to the warrant, or in this case, the access request, or authorised on the ground that the ends of justice would be subverted by the disclosure for one of the reasons referred to in subsection 2, or the information might be used for an improper purpose, and the reason referred to in paragraph A outweighs the importance, the access to the information. Basically, it's saying, there's a good reason for sealing these things. And the reasons given, and I'm going to flick through them quickly, most of them would not apply in this case. If disclosure of the information would compromise the identity of a confidential informant, we can scrap that. That's not what's the deal here. Compromise the nature and extent of an ongoing investigation. Ding, ding, ding. That's what they're talking about here. Then they've got endanger a person engaged in a particular intelligence gathering techniques. They don't have anyone undercover there, so no. Be injurious to international relations? No. Prejudice the interests of an innocent person? No. Then they've got for any other sufficient reason. But the one here is basically compromise the nature and extent of an ongoing investigation. That is what they have outlined in every single document where they have basically asked for it to be sealed. And this is basically covered under the criminal code. Now, yes, on its own, maybe you could argue that's just one thing that points towards it being a criminal investigation. But I've pointed out so many different things on previous occasions that this is basically just adding to that pile. So there's a whole heap of things that this officer outlines, but I'm going to go to paragraph 8, and that is this investigation has garnered a lot of media attention and scrutiny, and I believe that the information listed in the report to a justice signed on May 26, 2025 were published by the media, it would compromise the nature and extent of the ongoing investigation. Can I just point out that the only way that this case is not a criminal investigation is if those children wandered off into the woods. And if those children wandered off into the woods, and that's what this whole investigation was based on, there would be no need to seal documents. Information about the possible whereabouts of the children in the woods when they haven't been able to find them themselves is not going to compromise the nature and extent of an ongoing investigation. It could, in fact, allow public to go and find those children themselves. So that says a lot to me. So I'm going to go to paragraph 10 because I've already gone through the criminal code for you. But section 487.3 and then 2 in brackets of the criminal code states, in part, that for the purposes of paragraph 1A, an order may be made under subsection 1 on the ground that the end of justice would be subverted by the disclosure. Again, that is basically something that you only need to do in a criminal case. If the disclosure of the information would compromise the nature and extent of an ongoing investigation. The basis of this sealing order application relies on this component of 487.3 part 2. Now, what's important down the bottom here is paragraph 12, because it's actually telling us something important. No other investigator has obtained or has made any applications or attempted to obtain any warrants to search with respect to this investigation that have been refused. Why is this significant? The documents we have here are not warrants, not applications for warrants. They are applications for access to records. So right here, this paragraph is telling us that as well as these requests for access to digital footage to bank records, etc., etc., they also made multiple applications for warrants which have not been refused. What those warrants are, we don't know. That information has not been released. And then here's a list of the things that have been seized, which we all know about anyway, but I'll go through it. So, piece of blanket seized from the wooded area in Lansdowne, blanket seized from garbage bin at Daniel Martel's residence, ident impression castings taken from wooded area in Lansdowne, scat, unknown if human or animal, taken from wooded area in Lansdowne, 2 children's toothbrushes taken from Daniel Martel's residence, sock and piece of purple fabric taken from wooded area in Lansdowne. Now, if the image of the sock that we've seen is anything to go by, that sock was from a much, much older person, not Jack or Lily. Okay, so here paragraph 3 is relevant, and that is just the reference to them making a request for records for the Coburg Pass, and that is video records including closed-circuit television footage of all cameras at the Coburg Pass showing vehicles drivers leaving Nova Scotia from May 1st, 2025 at 2:25 p.m. to May 3rd, 2025 at 3 a.m. Now, I believe this paragraph is the same as what was in the first document. However, what is not the same is I think they haven't redacted a part here. So remember we were curious about what this appointment was that Malehya had? Well, here they have Malehya and Daniel left to take Meadow to an appointment. And Malehya might have gotten groceries, but she couldn't remember if she took the children or not. So I think the redacted bit must have been that they left to take Meadow to an appointment. Now, I'm not going to read through this, but basically I just wanted to bring this up to show you that 3 of the documents are relating to requests for banking details. There are 2 for Daniel and 1 for Malehya, so Daniel must have 2 separate bank accounts. And here we have the additional polygraph information. So first of all, on June 10th, Janie underwent a polygraph examination at Bible Hill Detachment conducted by Sergeant Rose Berthumi. The following is a summary of the polygraph examination report. So the sergeant stated something, Janie's physiology was not suitable for analysis and an opinion on the polygraph examination was not rendered, which I've discussed before. There can be multiple reasons for that. It could be medication, it could be breathing issues. We know she's a smoker, so if there is any sort of emphysema, that could affect it. High blood pressure. I mean, you've heard the way she talks. It is quite possible that it was just not possible to get a reading on her because of the way she is 100% of the time. Okay, so moving on to Cody. On June 12th, 2025, Cody underwent a polygraph examination at the wherever detachment conducted by Sergeant Firth. So that's another person who did it. The following is a summary. Note the wording here because this is actually very different to the wording you have with Malehya and Daniel, where it just says it said they were truthful with these questions. Cody underwent a polygraph examination in relation to this file. He passed the examination. You don't hear that anywhere else. And was found to have been truthful. Not found to have been truthful for these 4 questions, but found to have been truthful. And it says here, he passed the examination. What does that tell you with regards to Malehya and Daniel? Yes, there were questions that they were considered to be truthful on. I have questions with regards to Daniel, but that's not for this video. But here it is quite clear they specifically say he passed the examination. Okay, so now we have a reference here to a couple of Daniel's friends who went searching with him, it appears, on the Saturday. So Chance Lays said Daniel called him on Friday night to tell him the kids were missing and asked if he would help with the search. Lays, Daniel and their friend Adam Roy went out and searched on Saturday. Lays used to work with Daniel at the mill and found him to be a hard worker who was reliable. Just an observation here. Wouldn't you, the moment that you discovered that these children were missing, be calling your friends and trying to organise for them to come and help? And you look at the Friday and apparently half of Malehya's family were there, and yet Daniel didn't call his friends in till Friday night. Maybe it was just because he was out all day searching, as he claims, or maybe it was just because he wasn't overly fussed about getting help with searching because he knew where the children were. On May 17, 2025, Constable Donaldson took a statement from Justin Smith, who lives in the area where Jack and Lily went missing. The following is a summary. Justin Smith said he was on good terms with the Mackenzie family and helped Janie out in the past. He did not know Malehya, Daniel, Jack or Lily specifically. Smith helped with the search on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but did not find anything. There's quite a big chunk that's been redacted there. I wonder what's in there. Now we have Natasha Haywood. On May 31st, 2025, Sergeant Stanton and Constable Ford took a statement from Natasha Haywood, who called the office to report she had seen two children in the area of Lansdowne on May 2nd, 2025. She later met with Constables McIntyre and Donaldson in Lansdowne to show them where she saw the children. The following is a summary. Natasha Haywood was travelling with her sons on Friday, May 2nd, 2025 in the Lansdowne area between 9:30am and 10am. She saw two children walking along the side of the road. She described the following. A girl was holding a young boy's hand. The girl was walking on the road itself with the young boy on the inside toward the ditch. He, it's a she, thank you, described the boy as being smaller than the girl. He was Caucasian with dirty blonde hair, wearing shorts, which is not what Jack was wearing. The girl was Caucasian with darkish hair in pigtails and was wearing a tank top with blue strings. Lily didn't ever wear pigtails. I don't think we've seen them in any of the photos. Or if she did, I don't think she was capable of doing her hair herself into pigtails, not at 6. And she was not wearing a tank top with blue strings. Just slightly ahead of where the children were walking, there was a Caucasian female between 50 to 60 years old with a loose curl haircut, wearing a white shirt and blue shorts. She was standing next to the passenger side of an older model light gold or tan coloured sedan with the rear passenger's door open. On June 4th, 2025, Constables McIntyre and Donaldson met with Haywood at the intersection of Gairloch Road and Lansdowne Station Road. She explained the following. The two children she saw walking on Friday, May 2nd, 2025, were walking northbound towards Westville on the north side of Gairloch Road between the intersections of the train tracks and Lansdowne Station Road. The car she saw, which she thought was waiting for the children, was parked on the gravel shoulder at the intersection of Lansdowne Station Road and Gairloch Road. The female was looking towards the two children walking. Haywood provided the same description as above, but added she thought the girl was 9 to 10 years old and the boy was around 5 years old. None of it matches the children. And why would they be walking that far along Gairloch Road? It makes no sense. Investigators comment investigators are working to identify the children seen by Haywood to determine if they are Lily and Jack. Now, if this was really important, then why not put out a call for the driver of the tan or gold sedan to come forward and contact RCMP? Seems like a logical thing to do. Okay, this is just the basic, the record of one of the other records that they had made, and this was for basically the Text Plus information for Malehya. So all account information associated to Text Plus phone number not given, obviously, between May 1st, May 2nd, 2025, and then all the associated stuff. So that's what one of the documents was about. And the information relating to this, so paragraph 10, Malehya provided a statement saying she used Text Plus Inc. to call her mother and grandmother after Lily and Jack went missing. She said she later deleted the application because she did not need it anymore. Investigators have Malehya's phone records and then something or other because the application and associated data was deleted. Information from Text Plus for Malehya is being sought to independently verify her statements to police and to determine the time frame when she called her mother and grandmother. And then the standard line that is just essential for this document, I believe this information is going to possibly help with finding the children. Okay, so now we have the addition of Cindy in terms of polygraphs. So on July 2nd, 2025, Cindy underwent a polygraph examination at the same place with Sergeant RB. The following is a summary of the polygraph examination report. The polygraph examination procedure took place and the analysis of the polygraph tracings associated to Cindy indicated she was truthful, and it has redacted out, and then all the rest is redacted. So we don't know what was after she was truthful. There's more to that sentence. And then we don't know what she was truthful about. Sounds like there's something that they are not including in the information there. Then we have Wade. On July 2nd, Wade Paris, Cindy's boyfriend, underwent a polygraph examination. Same place, Sergeant Firth. The following is a summary. Wade Paris underwent a polygraph examination in relation to this file. He passed the examination and was found to have been truthful. Don't know what the B is, but hey. So the only two people who are listed as having passed the examination are Cody Sullivan and Wade Paris. Everyone else, there is information that's been redacted that, well, who knows what it is. Again, I just want to point out that this investigator's comment is actually not from the investigators doing the polygraph tests. This is a observation by the person writing this application, which really doesn't have a place in these sort of documents. So it does make me question why she's done this. Now there's a little bit of additional information here with regarding to septic searches and satellite analysis. So this is new stuff that I hadn't heard. On May 21st and May 30th, Constables McIntyre and Donaldson arranged for septic searches at 1407 Gairloch Road and the nearby Lauder Campground. The following is a summary. On May 21st, McIntyre and Donaldson went to Janie's residence and arranged for a septic tank to be pumped. Janie gave permission for it to be pumped. Nothing was located. On May 30, Donaldson and Constable Ronigan, a new one, met with the owners, Wanda Lisi and Todd Pillarini of Lauder Campground. The following was searched. All locked and unlocked buildings were searched with nothing located. 3 septic tanks were pumped and a camera was used to search inside the tanks. Nothing was located. On June 9th, 2025, Dr. Deborah Kamar of the RCMP National Centre for Missing Persons and Unidentified Remains, try saying that fast, provided a report of her satellite analysis and image review of the area surrounding Gairloch Road. The following is a summary. Dr. Kamar is a forensic anthropologist and was requested by the NCMPUR to complete an assessment of the potential for GIS satellite analysis on this file. The locations provided by investigators were used to define a search area of 21.2 square kilometres with a time frame of interest from May 1st, 2025 to May 3rd, 2025. Dr. Kamar's report concluded there was dense cloud cover on the day of the disappearance and intermittent dense cloud cover for May 3rd, which limited the number of images available. There were 2 images available for purchase from May 1st, 2025. Dr. Kamar said because the image inventory was low, the expectations of discovering anything of evidentiary value were low. So there's no further information provided about that, which is interesting, that's for sure. I have to say, given their track record, I hope they just didn't go, oh well, let's not bother getting those satellite images. Okay, so now we have the analysis of boot print located during search. Between May 3rd and May 27, efforts were made to confirm the boot print located on the pipeline in the search area belonged to Lily. The following is a summary. On May 3rd, Corporal Tikanchuk, I still don't know if I've got that right, contacted Forensic Identification Services to take a cast of the located boot print on the pipeline trail. On May 23rd, Corporal Clip with FIS contacted Constable Dunderdale and said the cast of the boot print showed a specific number 29 as part of the tread. She wondered if the number was based on design or size. Constable Dunderdale went to Walmart and located several sizes of the same boot, the number consistent with the case. 29 was only found on size 11 boots, but other sizes had different numbers. For example, size 12 boots had the number 30 and the size 10 boots had the number 27. Yeah, obviously you're talking, I think it's European sizing. Malehya said when asked that she thought Lily wore a size 12 or 13, which would not be consistent with the boot print found on the pipeline. On May 27th, Constable Hall went to the Walmart in New Glasgow with a record of Walmart transactions provided by Malehya. He was able to confirm Malehya purchased Lily's rainbow boots on March 20th, and the SKU number corresponded to a size 11 boot. The person writing these reports, she's a bright one, isn't she? Investigators comment, because Lily's boot was confirmed to be a size 11, it is consistent with the boot print located on the pipeline trail in the search area near 1407 Gairloch Road. Yeah, I think most people could have figured that out pretty quickly. And now we have information on the video canvases. So I had several conversations with Constables Bergmark on video canvases conducted in the area of Jack and Lily's residence. The following is a summary. He was assigned as the video coordinator on May 15th, 2025. In addition to a previous canvass that occurred during the initial days of the investigation, a secondary, more in-depth video canvass is being conducted in the area of Gairloch Road with an 8-kilometre radius from 1407 Gairloch Road. This canvass started on May 17, 2025. Constable Bergmark and his team have checked approximately this many residences in the area. The time frame being requested, April 27, 2025 at 8 a.m. to May 3rd, 2025 at 8 a.m. Residences with cameras or trail cameras are confirmed to exist, and have video or photos from the time frame requested. We don't know how many residents. So many videos or photograph sets have been seized but have not yet been thoroughly reviewed. A thorough review of the vehicle surveillance collected using specialised software is ongoing. Vehicles at those residences are also being logged for later comparison if required. So just a little more in relation to the Text Plus phone number stuff. Malehya said she deleted Text Plus and did not remember the number. She said she could check with her grandmother Patty to see if she could provide the number. Malehya relayed that Patty checked her phone and Malehya's Text Plus number was this. So this goes into more detail regarding Cody. So I'm just going to read right through rather than try and pick the bits that I haven't read. So, follow up with biological father. On May 3rd, Malehya reported to the police that Jack and Lily's biological father might have them. The following is a summary. At 12:45am, Constable Askew received a phone message from RCMP dispatch. It said Malehya had called and indicated Cody Sullivan may have picked up the children, his children, her children. She said did not have any proof of this, she just wanted to make sure every possibility is looked into. At 12:57am, Constable Askew received a second message from probably Malehya again through RCMP dispatch. This person wanted to know if Cody had been contacted and said that he might have taken the children to New Brunswick. Constable Sire followed up with Malehya, probably, who clarified that it was her something or other, that Cody might have the children. She also said Cody did not know where her and the children lived. Well, duh, why would you think he had the children then if he didn't even know where you live? Seriously. Constable Askew requested follow-up with Cody by RCMP. May 3rd, Constable Legay met with Cody. The following is a summary. Constable Legay met with Cody at his residence at approximately 2:50am in wherever. Cody said he had not seen Jack and Lily in 3 years and confirmed they were not with him. May 7, Constable Conlon met with Cody. The following is a summary. Corporal Tickenchuck asked Constable Conlon to speak with Cody again because a tip had been received that he was seen by a hotel employee in New Brunswick with Jack and Lily. Corporal Tickenchuck also asked Constable Conlon to obtain photographs of Cody and his vehicles. No wonder Cody was a bit upset with all this, because it would feel like harassment. Constable Conlon attended Cody's residence and confirmed he was there. Cody agreed to being photographed and allowed the vehicles on property to be photographed as well. On May 22nd, Corporal McCarran and Constable Robinson took a statement from Cody. The following is a summary. Cody said he used to be in a relationship with Malehya and they had Jack and Lily together. He had not seen them in a couple of years but paid child support. I'm going to presume that the redacted section there is him explaining that he had done so until when he lost his job. He said he did not know what happened to Jack and Lily. He was home on May 2nd and never goes anywhere. He has not been anywhere other than his house recently and has had no contact with Malehya since the children went missing. He sometimes drives a something. And this is a paragraph from the document basically requesting footage from the Coburg Pass. Police went to his residence, as in Cody, and spoke with him around 2:50am on May 3rd. He said he had not picked up the children. I believe video surveillance from the Coburg Pass for the time frame requested will assist in independently verifying Cody Sullivan's statements to police and corroborate the children not being taken to New Brunswick through the Coburg Pass during the requested time frame. So that confirms right there that the footage that they were looking for was basically for the purpose of confirming that Cody, his story was basically legit, or at least verifying it independently. So I think I have now covered all the information that was contained in the documents. I am going to, over the next probably week, it'll probably take me about a week, I'm going to go through and basically put all the information together into a single document, a bit like I did with the newspaper articles. And then I will also upload that to Patreon. In terms of documents on Patreon, they're now live. So in between starting this video and finishing it on my break, I uploaded all the documents. So if you want copies of these documents, you can now get them for free on my Patreon. You just go in, follow the link in the description for this video, and then you just sign up. You just need your email address to sign up, and then you can download whatever documents are on there that you want. So on that note, thanks for listening. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, and of course please hit that like button and please leave a comment below. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.